Okay, let's put the facts out on the table. Okay, Conor McGregor, one of the greatest to ever do it. Like him or not, forget his personality, forget all that stuff. He's one of the greatest fighters ever. Cowboy Cerrone is one of the most he's one of the most special fighters. Okay, he's among the greatest ever. Yes, he's a legend in the sport, no doubt about it. But there is something very special about Cowboy Cerrone. What is special about him? Well, I think the guy has like he has probably some of the he's among the guys with the most fight of the night awards, whatever you call them now, performance of the night, fight of the night. He has a tremendous amount of experience. He wins fights he's supposed to lose. He's lost fights he's supposed to win. Okay, he's been hot and cold, inconsistent, but there's something so special about Cowboy. What is it? Well, I would say that he's an incredible entertainer. He is an incredible entertainer. He is a cowboy. I mean, he's a wild man. I've trained with the guy. I know the guy personally. He's been in my gym before he was a superstar. I've worked with him in the past, and the guy is really a cowboy in the truest sense. Okay, like a wild man. When I say cowboy, I think a guy who's a wildcat, a guy who's unpredictable. Cowboy is unpredictable. He can go in there and flatten McGregor like he can get flattened by McGregor. We just don't know what this man is going to do. He's had some brilliant performances and some very surprisingly bad performances. Like, for instance, when he fought RDA the second time, a lot of us thought that was his day. He's going to win. He's going to win that fight. And of course, for those who don't know, we're going to talk about it later. He has an issue with the body. He took a bad body kick, a couple of punches to the body. He went down. But Cowboy is so tough. Everybody was pretty shocked that he was put out in round one. So there were times where we thought he was going to win and he loses, and times where we thought he was going to lose and he wins, and he's just so unpredictable. When I say we, I'm talking about all my gym buddies and other coaches that I talked to before fights. All coaches when we're at the events, we're all thinking about who's going to win, who's going to lose. We're always talking about, right? How do you see this fight? How do you see that fight? We're always discussing it. Cowboy is one of the hardest guys in the world to peg. Why? He's a wild man. I don't think he knows what he's going to do. Even when he's in there, I think he's just fighting. He's just a wild man. There's no predictability. Now, if we look at his opponent, Conor McGregor, Conor McGregor, we know what he's going to do. He's going to go in there. He's going to throw precise strikes. He's going to look for the kill shot, of course. He's one of the greatest finishers in the history of the game. He's going to throw a variety of kicks. He's going to throw strikes from weird angles, high uppercuts, leaping uppercuts, spinning hook kicks, oblique kicks. He's going to throw so much variety. He's not your meat and potatoes type of guy. Okay, he's going to throw lots of variety. And if he smells blood, he's going to put you out. If he smells a little bit of blood, he's going to put you out. He's going to go out there. He's going to be a phenomenal counter puncher. His strikes are going to be clean, pristine, nothing sloppy at all. Okay, at least we're going to talk about, we've seen him in the first two rounds be really, really excellent in his game. But still talking about Cowboy. Cowboy's the complete opposite. We don't know what Cowboy's going to do. If you look at his last 10 fights, he's 4-6. Okay, he's won 4 and he's lost 6. That's not a great record to have in your last 10 fights. However, those 4 fights, there were some big wins. He beat Alexander Hernandez. He beat Platinum Perry. He's had some notable wins, very difficult wins. But his last 2 outings, we all remember his last 2 outings. Okay, he fought Tony Ferguson. He got stopped on the stool. Okay, he was not allowed to continue. That was no fault on Cowboy. Cowboy wanted to continue fighting. He seemed like he had a fractured orbital. And then shortly after that, he fights Gaethje. And I think it was like maybe 8 weeks in between. Like, how do you turn around so fast after you have a serious injury? He seemed to have a broken nose or fractured orbital. Something was fractured. I'm assuming it was the nose and orbital. Okay? He took a nasty elbow in that fight. Now, how do you turn around and fight Gaethje, a very powerful striker, that fast? I can't remember the exact dates, but I think it was like about 8 weeks turnaround. That's just Cowboy, man. He'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, any place, any weight division. Just call a Cowboy's name and he'll be there. He's incredibly tough. Nobody can take that away from him. He's not going to quit. He's not going to quit in this fight. He's going to fight tooth and nail all the way, 5 rounds. He's not going to stop. Okay, we all know that about him. He's an incredible striker as well. An incredible striker. However, a very different style than the McGregor. He's great with his legs. If you saw the Alexander Hernandez fight, he threw a beautiful knee to the body. He threw several beautiful knees to the body, and then finished by dropping Hernandez with a head kick and finished Hernandez on the ground. But a beautiful head kick, a head kick that's become his signature. He finished Matt Brown, Rick Story. I mean, Iaquinta, how many kicks did he land on Iaquinta? He's an incredible kicker. A1 for kicks, A1 for knees. Good puncher. Not the greatest puncher, good puncher. Now here's the question. Can Cowboy take McGregor in the later rounds and rack up those kicks and knees? Rack up those kicks and knees. Now, I'm thinking personally, honestly, if I was coaching Cowboy, if I was coaching Cowboy, I would say, look, boxing with McGregor is a recipe for disaster. Recipe for disaster. Do not box with McGregor, especially do not throw your right hand. Now, let's not forget, McGregor's a southpaw. Cowboy's a righty. They're going to be in open stance. The only punch I would like to see Cowboy throw is jab, jab, followed by kicks or knees. But no right hands. If you throw that right hand in the first 2 rounds, he's going to get hit. He's going to hit hard. Cowboy's got to be patient. Why does he have to be patient? Because McGregor's a counter puncher. If you throw a punch at him, guess what? You're going to get hit right back. And you're going to get hit back really, really hard. Cowboy needs to give McGregor nothing to counter. He's got to kick the leg. Yes, he's got to kick the leg. A lot of you are going to tell me he's got to kick the leg. But when he kicks the leg, he's opening himself up also for the straight left down the middle. When he kicks McGregor's leg, whether he kicks it to the outside or the inside, he's going to get countered with a left. He's a very intelligent guy, okay? He's not dumb. He knows that Cowboy's going to aim for the legs. Now, it doesn't mean he can't get the legs. It's just a risk. You're taking a calculated risk. When you kick those legs, Cowboy's got to be nicely covered. He's got to kick and cover. He's got to kick the body. He's got to kick the head. He's got to teep. He's got to teep to the face like he did against Iaquinta. He's got to use his jab sparingly without committing with it. And he's got to clinch and tie up McGregor and take him into the later rounds. And even shoot on McGregor. That Cowboy Cerrone, he's done so many great things standing up that we forget what a great wrestler he is. He did a beautiful takedown on Alexander Hernandez, brought him down. Even though Alexander eventually got up to his feet, Cowboy kept pressuring him with takedowns and strikes. And he also brought down Tony Ferguson, let's not forget. Now, Tony got up. Tony's incredible at getting up. I don't think anybody can get up off the mat like Tony Ferguson can. So I don't think McGregor will be able to get up that easily. Maybe he will get up, but not as easily as Ferguson. Ferguson's very special in this regard. Cowboy has an amazing blast double. He's very surprising with his double leg. So if I was training Cowboy, I would tell him, look, don't throw your right hand. There's no need for it. Watch the fight against Gaethje when Cowboy threw a 1-2. When he threw the right hand, he missed. He got countered by Gaethje. He got dropped to the mat. Why? He overpunched with the right hand. If he does that with McGregor, he's going to get touched. He's going to get hurt. And he's going to take McGregor in the later rounds. That's the recipe for Cowboy. Cowboy has been in the later rounds before. He's been in seesaw battles many times. He's come back from behind to win. He's done it all. Now let's look at the other corner. We have Conor McGregor. Now, Conor McGregor has, he's had such incredible performances. However, he seemed to have one Achilles heel. He fades in the later rounds. When he fought Khabib in round 4, he did well in round 3. He actually won round 3 on the judges' scorecard. But in round 4, he seemed to be zapped of energy. He got taken down easier. He got mounted. It seemed like his grappling wasn't there. He turned around. It seemed like there wasn't much fight left in him. Now, again, that's fighting Khabib. But we saw him in round 5 against Diaz. He seemed to lose the 5th round. He seems to slow down a little bit. Is that his Achilles heel? Well, I'll tell you something. Sometimes when you're so explosive, you're so quick, it takes a lot of energy for your body to operate at that speed. So it might be that he's genetically very quick, but endurance is probably his natural weakness that he's probably working on a lot. Now, again, McGregor's a smart guy. I'm sure he's working on his endurance. But when you do a lot of endurance, you kind of take away from your pop and power. Okay, whenever you work your endurance, whenever your endurance goes up, it's normal for your power to go down a little bit. When you work your power, it's normal for your endurance to go down a little bit. So there's this seesaw battle. There's this balancing act where I want to raise my endurance, I want to raise my power, I want to raise my endurance, but they're always seesawing. As they're going up, they're kind of seesawing back and forth. When I'm working on endurance, it's normal that my strength levels drop. Okay, so we know these basics. So is McGregor going to be able to do the job in the first 2 rounds? That's the big question. He has to put Cowboy away in the first 2 rounds because that's whenever he's had an incredible fight, and he's had many. They were always done in the first 2 rounds. Every time he went in the later rounds, which is not very often, against Khabib, against Diaz. Is that it? That's it. I mean, how many fights has he been in the third? Just Khabib and Diaz. That's all I can think about. That's all I can remember right now. And it seems like, he's genetically gifted in one sense. However, maybe not as genetically gifted in another sense. Now, of course, endurance can be improved, but we all have genetic potential for endurance and power. Okay. Can Cowboy take him in the later rounds? Can McGregor get it done early? I have to make a pick. Now, I got to tell you something. I'm divided on this one. My mind is telling me, my brain is telling me, look, McGregor's going to win. He's been planning his return. He's been training like a wild man. Cowboy's just been taking any fight. He's banged up. He's late in his career. He's had losses. He's been hurt. He got hurt by Ferguson. He got hurt by Gaethje. What makes you think McGregor won't hurt him? Well, I have to tell you, my brain is telling me, look, McGregor's going to win this fight. My heart is telling me I want Cowboy to win. Why? Because I know the guy. He's a great guy. I've trained with him in the past. I always pick the fighter that I know. However, in this instance, I got to be really, really transparent. I got to tell you, I really do believe that McGregor is going to be able to tag Cowboy. Now, he's either going to finish Cowboy in the first 2, or it's going to go in the later rounds, but the damage in the first 2 are going to carry McGregor in the later rounds. Now, I'm assuming McGregor has been training really, really hard. He really wants to get back in there. He wants to win his title back. He wants to win a title again. He wants to become champion. I think he's highly, highly motivated. And this is one major reason why I'm picking McGregor, because I feel that Cowboy, he's just taking fights, but his body's wearing down. He's been in a lot of great fights. And these are wars he's been going through. And it doesn't stop at the Ferguson fight. Every fight he's had has been a war, another war, another war. And now he's fighting Conor McGregor. In his last 10 fights, he's lost 6. And I think it's because of the quick turnarounds. He's a phenomenal fighter. But here's one plus in Cowboys' side that I really, really like. This fight is at 170. I really like this fight at 170. Now, we've seen Conor fight at 170 before. He fought Nate Diaz twice at 170. I thought that, it didn't make a difference too much between the two because they're both naturally 155ers. At their best, they both did their best work at 155. Nate Diaz did his best work at 155. Conor did his best work at 145 and 155. But I felt those two are a bit of the same size. Now, Cowboys, it's the same thing. But why do I like it more for Cowboy? It's just less punishment for his body. It's less stress for his body. And he's done 170 against real 170 fighters and won. So Cowboy, if you guys have never seen him like face to face, he's actually a very big guy. I've seen Conor and I've seen Cowboy face to face. I've met them both. Cowboy is bigger. Like there's a significant size difference. If we're going to 170, there's going to be a significant size difference. Now, I would say the same thing is true between Conor and Nate. Nate he's a bigger guy. However, he's not as athletic as Cowboy. He's not as explosive and as strong as Cowboy, in my opinion. I've never wrestled the guy. I'm just saying from seeing his performances, I don't think he's as athletic as Cowboy. Cowboy is a very athletic and strong and explosive individual. Okay, they both have different characteristics. But I would say Cowboys, he has a greater advantage at 170 than Nate Diaz did against Conor. Okay, the difference between Conor and Nate Diaz at 170 wasn't as great as I'm expecting it to be. I'm anticipating it to be between Conor and Cowboy. Yet I still do think that Conor's going to be able to counterpunch Cowboy. I think Cowboy's going to be very aggressive. I think he's going to go for it. And I think he might get countered. Now, my heart is saying Cowboy. My brain, guys, if you want to know what my brain is saying, is I'm doing the math here. And I think Conor's going to land those counter punches.